This is the TYPHUR Dome 2, and this is the OG, which I've had for over a year now. Is the new one better, and if so, by how much? Let's find out in this 5-minute rapid review so you're not wasting time watching food cook in slow motion like some other videos. See? Complete waste of time, right? But after watching all that, I'm feeling kind of peckish. I'll be right back. The TYPHUR Dome 2 retails for $500. It's currently about $380 on sale. Now, the cooking pan itself, the capacity is 5.6 quarts, putting this squarely between the medium to small capacity air fryer category. But it's deceiving because it is wider than your average model, but definitely way shorter. Now, this thing has 1750 watts altogether, which allows the fryer to cook at temperatures from 100 degrees all the way up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. The biggest difference though is the dual heating elements now. So on the inside, not sure you can see that, there is another heating element at the bottom which the old one did not have. 1700 watts for the top, while it's 1500 watts for the bottom, for what it's worth. Now, the height of the entire unit has also gone up slightly by 20.3 millimeters. But despite the additional heating coil as well as the height and all that, the Dome 2 has lost weight, guys. It is now 9.6 kilograms versus 10 kilograms. As I mentioned a quick second ago, the Dome 2 is wider than your average medium-sized air fryer out there, but granted, it is also much lower to the ground. So something to take into account there in terms of storage space as well as counter presence. Now, the front here is a full touch panel. Let me turn it off so you can better see how quickly it picks up my fingerprints, but it is a quick swipe away to clean it up, which is really basically the same as other air fryers out there. They look nice and everything in production videos, but you know, they get dirty really fast. 8 buttons altogether, 4 on each side. It's much less than the 10 on the OG. They've taken away some features, added pizza and things like that, and some of the extra buttons that were on the OG are now denigrated into the app, which is kind of a plus minus. I like it all on the panel where it's easily accessible and quickly too. But the unit comes in one colorway, which is this. If you like more colors, other brands offer it, I guess. But the tray itself is really easy, nice and wide, which is what I like about this unit. So you can spread out your food. Some people like that. Cooking, sometimes it's really best to let things air out and breathe and circulate. And speaking of circulate, this thing has a convection fan at the top as well. You can see that, as well as a coil at the top. And now the new coil, as we mentioned below, for browning things like pizzas and meats and things like that, which is really convenient. In terms of the trays, they're both exactly the same dimensions. Nothing has changed. The height is the same, even with the included rack right there. But something you might notice in the shot right here is that in my left hand this is the old version and this is the new one. It's a little bit shinier on this one. I think it's because of the new like PFAS free non-stick coating. And this one, I'm not sure what it was. I need to check the specs. Maybe if I find it, I'll flash it on the screen below. But yeah, this is more matte and this is shinier. It feels thinner than the old one as well. So durability might be in question. So, you know, probably a follow-up video would be good on this one. So stay tuned for that. Let's start off with the most important bit, cooking criteria. Does it crisp and brown well? Yes, 85% of the time. The other 15% was usually down to user error. Is the cooking space spacious? Well, kinda sorta. It prefers if your potatoes are sliced up or your chicken spatchcock rather than whole. And how noisy is it while it's cooking? Actually, it's quite silent, measuring 58 decibels on average at full tilt. That's quite a bit less than a Ninja dual basket that sounds like a vacuum cleaner. There is one concerning thing that I noticed with meats. They oddly don't cook through compared to the first Dome. With the OG, if I set cook mode to grill or steak, the cook times were almost always spot on. But with the Dome 2, I had to add 8 to 10 minutes almost every time to cook to proper doneness. It almost seems like the meat modes are designed to specifically require TYPHUR's sync probes to cook properly, which coincidentally this machine now supports. The tray and the pan are both dishwasher safe, but you know, I hand wash the pan to preserve the non-stick coating. It's just a thing I do with most of the nice pans that I own anyway. Self-cleaning mode is a fantastic way to get rid of carbon buildup in the cooking cavity. Downside is there is no dedicated button on the device anywhere. You need to activate it via the app. Another nice to have would be automatic scheduled cleaning, but I'm guessing in both cases it was done out of safety. But if a regular oven can have that feature, why not this? This thing takes up a little more vertical counter and storage space than before, and if you were just getting by with the older model in terms of fitting it just right in your cabinet, then this one would be probably a no-go, or also maybe a perfect excuse to expand your kitchen. The biggest detractor, in my opinion, would be the price. The top 3 to 5 best air fryers out there easily come in under $300, so right off the bat, the TYPHUR has a hard time competing with those things. In other words, wait for sales, which I've noticed come during most big holidays or during seasonal promotions, so you really don't have to wait that long to not pay full MSRP for this. Based on my extended time with both the OG and version 2, I can say that the Dome 2 would be quickly filtered out of most shoppers' search criteria, unfortunately, and it's down to 2 reasons. The high price compared to Instants and Ninjas out there, as well as the wider shape that takes up more counter space. Even if, granted, the Dome 2 technically shares roughly the same volume as others in its class. But that being said, guys, see past all of that and you have a very competent air fryer / pizza oven that performs well, has lots of space for food to spread out, is easy to keep clean, and quiet to boot. And if you have the previous gen, I don't see the need to upgrade aside from, the new bottom element. It's basically the same machine.